So, a lot of you are asking what it was like to perform at the Leavenworth International Accordion Festival. It was really, really, really fun. It was really fun. It was entertaining. My goals in performing are to entertain, to try and connect, and to have fun. For me and for the audience to have fun. I had two performances, two 15-minute performances, and I think we accomplished all three goals: fun, entertainment, and connection. Now, what that means is, let me step back a little bit. My intention with going to Leavenworth was I knew that I had to fill 15 minutes of music. I had 15 minutes on stage. And if you saw my live stream the week before my performance, and I might share some other videos, I was working on a set. I arranged 10 or so songs, and I worked on connecting those songs and what key should I play them in, and do I know those songs? And it was fine. That was my intention. Good. That was my intention. But as I got to Leavenworth, as the date got closer, two things happened. One was I listened to a podcast by one of my favorite public speakers and thinkers, Seth Godin. I'll link to it in the description below. But someone asked him a question about his public speaking and his podcast, and whether he reads or whether he improvises ideas based on what he knows. And so, I'll I'll link to the blog post below to his podcast, but he spoke about the differences between reading something, memorizing something, a piece of music, and improvising something. And I thought to myself, I don't know how to read music. It's so rare that I organize something precisely. There's room for that. And that's what I was trying to do. And the magic that happens from spontaneous improvisation. I don't do spontaneous improvisation, but I'm somewhere in the middle between memorized songs and expressing those with feeling. And so that got into my mind. And as I was packing my accordion for Leavenworth, I was going to write a little set list on top of the accordion. And I thought, I'm not going to do it. That's the first thing that happened. I still had the set list in my mind, though. But then as I got to Leavenworth, I saw that a lot of the performers, I can't help but comparing myself a little bit to other performers, the other performers were so prepared. They were so well rehearsed. And that's not my kind of performance. I love it. I appreciate it. The performers were some of them were extremely technical. Almost everyone was more technical than me. Just speed, proficiency, scales. It was wonderful. Everyone was more prepared than me. Everyone had played those pieces many, many, many times. I almost never play the same piece. It's rare that I play a piece the same way twice. And so I kind of embraced that. Yeah. So, to answer the question, what were the two 15-minute performances like? They were fun, entertaining, and connection. Connection happened as well. So, for my first performance Friday afternoon, I went to a workshop earlier that day, and I met someone at the workshop. We kind of said hi. His name was Ted. Hello, Ted, if you're watching. And then after the workshop, Kate took the kids away a little bit so that I don't know why she took the kids away a bit. It was fine. And so I found myself just playing on the street. And then I went into a little pub. And I don't remember the exact sequence of events, but Ted came by as I was playing. And I said, "Hey, Ted, do you have your accordion? This is an accordion festival." And Ted said, "Yeah." And I said, do you want to bring it? Do you want to play?" And he said, "Yeah." And so Ted brought his accordion. Again, we'd never played before. And I said, "Do you know... let's do like a St. James Infirmary blues, a blues in G minor." And so Ted picked up his accordion. There were people there in the pub, and we started to play. And Ted played from the heart. Ted plays from the heart. Ted plays with skill and with emotion. And we kind of played together well. And then I said, "Hey, do you want to play You Are My Sunshine in G major. Another kind of bluesy 1-4-5 song. Sure. Ted picked up his accordion. I played, and we played with each other well, right? I took the back seat, and Ted took the melody, and then Ted did the padding and chord comping, and I took the melody. And my performance was in 20 minutes, and I said, hey, Ted, do you have a time slot? Do you feel like going on stage together? We'll do what we're doing now. I think I would like that. I think it would sound good, and I think the audience would like it too. Because again, I saw the technical performances that I couldn't do. The well-rehearsed performances and very polka-intensive performances that I couldn't do. But I thought we could do this, and there's a magic, there's an authenticity and a joy and excitement in spontaneous music. It's what I try to do on the live streams. And Ted said yes, which is amazing. Thank you, Ted, for saying yes. So we made our way to the stage, and we got on stage, and we made a little announcement saying, this is me and Ted. We just met. We're going to play some songs for you. And the other thing that we did, which I like to do a lot, is to bring myself into the music. I used to do this, my old band used to do this, which was instead of playing up here and the audience being down here, and that distance is okay, but it's intimidating, that distance. It's intimidating for me to be up on stage, and there's a disconnect. So Ted and I came down here to a little square, and we played right there amongst the people. And I'll share part of the video. I'll share some of the video. As soon as we started playing Que Sera Sera, I think. Maybe it was our first song. People started dancing, and people started clapping, and people started laughing. And it was wonderful. And we were right there. We were right there with the audience. It's as though we were making music together. Ted and I were making music together, and we invited the audience to come along. This was approachable. This was songs that we all knew. It's okay to sing. I like to sing when I play. And so that was the first performance. We played Que Sera Sera. We looked at each other and we said, let's do You Are My Sunshine. And let's do... I forget the rest of the songs, but it was really wonderful. At the moment of performance, there's no more fear for me. There's no more nervousness. We're in it together. The anticipation is much more nerve-wracking than the actual performance. The performance, I know what I know. I'm not doing anything overly technical or overly difficult. It was beautiful. It was lovely. The audience liked it. Sal and Wolf, my kids, went around handing out the accordion coloring books if the audience could name a song that we played. It was really wholesome and good. That was the first performance. The second performance was the next day. I had 15 minutes. And my intention was to do some sort of polka performance, but I realized I didn't know what to do for my second performance. But watching other people's workshops, I wanted to play around with polka. And so I know two polka songs. I know the Beer Barrel Polka, which seems like I want to do that with lots of people. Or I know the Bergvagabunden Polka that Martin taught me on the 12-hour live stream. And so I thought, let me work on the Bergvagabunden Polka during my 15-minute set. What would it be like if I just played one polka for 15 minutes? That's unique. I really like that idea, and so I thought, let's do it. So I had my son Wolfie in tow. He sat on the side of the stage, and I got on stage, and I introduced myself. I said, my name is Ronan. I've been watching other performers, and I'm going to try to play my one polka that I know, the Bergvagabunden Polka, and play around with it. Go from simple to complex, maybe turn it into a waltz, right? Dissecting a song, massaging a song until I really know it, and let's do it together up on stage. It's kind of like a live stream, but with real life people. And again, my goal was to have fun, for it to be entertaining for the audience, and to try and connect to the audience. And what I mean by connection to the audience with that performance was, it wasn't me sitting with my head down just working on the performance, which is okay, that could be entertaining too. It was engaging with the audience. Now, this time I was asked to play on the stage with amplification, so I stood on stage, I wasn't in the center, but it was great. Again, I'll share parts of the performance in the video, or I'll link to another video. It was really cool. I started off with the Bergvagabunden Polka. I always start off with the end because I sometimes forget the beginning. But I started playing. So ba 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 da ba 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 ba. I'll link to the Bergvagabunden performance and lesson as well. And it worked great. And the song lasted 40 seconds. And I look at the clock, and I have 13 minutes left. So on the microphone I say, we have 13 more minutes. So I keep playing. And the second time around, I add some multi-fingered melodies. You'll know those from the Accordion Love website. And then the third time, I start to embellish the melody a bit. Still, the left hand is going. If you see the performance, I'm using a beautiful Hohner accordion, kind of a Zupan with Helicon basses that was rented to me by Martin, given to me for the performance by Martin at Tempo Trend Music. Beautiful big accordion with these huge bass buttons, huge bass sound. And then I kept going, and it was really nice. And as I'm playing, the audience is into it. And I could see that the audience is smiling. Mike Turner was there, Michael Turner, who introduced himself. And people were there. My student, my friend now, Mia, was there with her friends. And it was really cool to just look around and gauge the audience's reaction. And then I switched to a waltz, and it was cool, and it was flowing. And then to a tarantella. And then what would it be like if Bergvagabunden Polka was in a minor, which our student Anna does really, really well. Our friend and student Anna does really well. So all of those things are happening live. Another thing that happened, I felt like if I was losing the audience a bit, I could slow it down. That lesson that we did about using the 5 chord with a 7 in it to bring the audience together and slow it down. Again, I'll share a little video highlight. That worked really well. That worked really, really well. The other thing that starts to happen with me is once a song becomes familiar enough, after 8 minutes of playing the same song, this often happens in song circles if you've ever been to one. This is how I teach music. The melody really starts to come out, and it's okay to sing the melody at that point. The song to me becomes almost like a Jewish niggin, like a wordless melody. And again, the emphasis of the song starts to change. So I did that. I also bumped the song up to an E major from the C. We went from a C transposed to a D, transposed to an E, and then I played the rest of the song in E major. And one of the festival organizers, my son was sitting on the sideline. My other son wasn't feeling well that morning, so I had Wolfie in tow. And he's like, play the chicken dance. So I started to play the chicken dance in E major. So it wasn't a 1-song performance. It was a 2-song performance. I think we did come back to Bergvagabunden. But playing the chicken dance, the audience loved it. They started to do the chicken dance. It was really, really cool. So those are my 2 performances at Leavenworth. It was such a wholesome experience. The audience came up to me afterwards and said they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as well. Again, I got to connect to the audience. I got to have fun. The audience got to have fun and be entertained as well. I loved almost every performance that I saw had something beautiful in it. I very much enjoy the highly technical performances. I saw Sergei Telshev performing both technically and emotionally. His Schindler's List cover it, it is pure heart and beauty and emotion. Yeah, I recommend performing if you get the chance. It was so nice to get to connect to people. That first performance with Ted, every time I got to play with someone, whether on the street or whether in a workshop, was just beauty and magic. It's so nice to connect to people with music. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Check out accordionlove.com if you haven't already. Thank you. Da, 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 da.